What is going on, guys? Craig 1287 here, bringing you my Titanfall tips and tricks ultimate guide. Is it the ultimate guide? Nah, that's just a marketing term. But I do think it's a pretty darn good guide. Do I think it covers everything out there? No. If you have a tip or trick of your own, please comment it in the comment section below. And if I make a video for the full release and what you suggested is still applicable for the full release, then I will be sure to add it to that next video. Now, I said if it is still applicable because that applies to these as well. These tips are all from the beta. Some of these things might have changed by the time the full game comes out. Certain things might have been removed. Some of these things might not have been a feature, but actually an unintended effect. So let's get straight into it because I've got quite a few. Let's start with Titan burn cards. Save certain Titan burn cards, those burn cards that are specific to Titans, for the last Titan standing mode. Something like having the Titan damage core starting at full. That actually is really handy in the last Titan standing mode because having that, it carries over until you die. So from round to round to round, as long as you stay alive, even if you lose your Titan, you as a pilot stay alive, and you're going to have your Titan starting out every single round with their damage core. So you can pop that ability at the very start of the round and then pop it again after you've earned enough time reductions. So definitely save those for that mode if you can. Next tip, pay attention to the maps and their hardpoint domination maps, the points, the flags, because some of these can only be captured by the infantry when you're as a pilot. On the maps that we were shown in the demo or the beta, there was 1 point on each of those maps for hardpoint domination that could actually be capped by a person while still in their Titan. So when you're playing the game and you're in your Titan and not using it as an auto Titan, you got to make sure that you're keeping an eye on that point, because that's one of the main ones that you as a person in their Titan can actually cap. So that one should raise its importance to you. You should definitely keep paying attention to that. Next tip, you can swap out your secondary weapon for a primary weapon that has been dropped by a dead player. So you start out, you've got that 45 auto pistol or something like that. You're not stuck with that the whole round, and you don't have to exchange your primary weapon for another primary weapon if you do run out of ammo. The very first person you take out, they're going to drop their weapon. You can go switch to your pistol and pick up their primary weapon, and you've got 2 primary weapons. You don't have to worry about reloading early and eating through your magazines too quickly, because this tip will help you out. Next one, wall hang. Not a lot of you guys know that you can wall hang, so this is a kind of a tip right here in and of itself, but when you are going to do the wall running, use your aim down sight. For PC, that would be the right click, and it is going to pretty much hook you into the wall, and you'll hang there for a little bit. You can't aim down sight because that's what you're using to actually hold onto the wall, but you can hip fire. And a neat little way to do this is wall hang like sort of like a gargoyle on the side of a building. You don't want to just sit up top of buildings if you're doing certain things, because your silhouette shows up a lot easier. Granted, they might think you're just an air conditioning unit on the top of a roof or something like that, but your silhouette might give it away. But if you're just hanging there on the side of a building, you might just blend in, because people are going to look for targets that are running across buildings and things like that. So something that is stationary, you might just go unnoticed, and someone might just sneak by, and you can then flank them. Or if they're in a Titan and you're not in a Titan, just let them go on by, and now you can keep moving towards whatever objective you were originally heading. Next tip. Entering your Titan resupplies your ammo. This includes your guns and grenades. So if you don't have the burn card that gives you infinite, the shock rocks, that gives you infinite the EMP grenades, then you can actually still toss out 2 that you have by default, get into your Titan, and hop back out. Now you've got your 2 grenades back. This applies to all your weapons, so just spam everything you've got. If you've got a Titan out, hop in, jump back out, now you're resupplied. Next tip, punch a Titan once they get doomed. I'm sure a lot of you, this is probably one of those tips that a lot of people know, but if you didn't, you can always melee Titans, but once they go into a doomed state, meleeing them will actually rip the pilot out throw them, and kill them instantly. This will prevent them from being able to shoot at you while they're in doomed state, and it prevents them from being able to obviously eject out and shoot you with a lock-on or the Sidewinder or rodeoing you, whatever they might do once hopping out as a pilot. So again, once they go into doomed state, melee them. This doesn't work if they start to trigger their nuke override thing where they explode in a nuclear blast, but make sure you've got enough boost to get you out if you're in melee distance. You definitely got to get out of there, or else you're going to get blown up. Next tip, when deciding between the rocket salvo and the 3-shot lock-on rocket, that is the other ordnance that we had there in the beta, remember that the rocket salvo can be used against targets other than enemy Titans. That 3-shot lock-on rocket can only be used against other Titans, but the rocket salvo, that's just a swirling barrage of rockets, that is the default ordnance that you start the game out with. That can be used against pilots, you can use that against grunts, and sentinels. You can use that against anything. Great for getting splash damage and things like that on people if you don't have something that already does splash. So it's a great way if you're shooting your primary Titan weapon and now you got to reload. Just pop that rocket salvo and take the target out before they get into cover. Next tip, wall running isn't just useful for getting up to cool places. Wall running and leaping off of those walls gives you a pretty significant speed boost. If you combine this with the stim pack and or prosthetic legs, the burn card for that, and while using like a pistol or an SMG versus an LMG or the carbine, you are going to be getting around crazy fast. Very important for those maps in which you need to get to a specific point, such as hardpoint. You can get to those points and cap them incredibly fast compared to your opponents that are not using the wall runs. Next tip, if you don't have electric smoke equipped and you're getting rodeoed, jump out instantly the second you hear those sounds of them crawling around you. Otherwise, if you don't hear them, you'll see the on-screen pop-ups. This seems pretty obvious, but you need to do it instantly because they're not going to expect you to trigger you escaping that Titan as soon as they just start to hop on. Now, you're going to do this, you're going to catch them off guard, they're still going to be shooting at you. This gives you a chance to shoot them while they're still on your Titan. But even if they realize that you're hopping out and they bail off, they're going to always bail out in the same direction. They're on your back, they're going to hop out to the back. You can use this predictability to your advantage and just know that you're going to need to shoot in that direction. So, easy way to get those people that are rodeoing you if you don't have electric smoke. Just pop out and know that they're going to be hopping off your back, aim in that direction, and you'll take them out quite easy. Now, if you do have electric smoke, you can use it for more than just killing rodeo pilots. It's very effective at that. If you pop it, stay in your smoke, and it'll kill a rodeo pilot if they are on you and stay on you. It can also be used as a visual cover. Now, I'm sure you knew that, but it can also be used for something quite a bit cooler. Use it to lure enemy Titans into a trap. Start to fall back, even if you're at full health or full shield, start to fall back and make them think that they got the drop on you. They're going to push and follow you down that road, go around a corner, and then just stare at your minimap and wait until they get right up to that corner, pop the electric smoke, and it's going to do pretty darn good damage against them as they're walking through that smoke. Also, in hardpoint, push up on a hardpoint that you guys have, your team owns, but it's being capped. And whether it is enemy Titan in there or just an enemy pilot, just go into the center of that hardpoint and pop your electric smoke. And then bounce back out of there. It's going to do damage to all the people that were in that general vicinity of that hardpoint capture point, and they're just going to take some constant damage. Alright, that way you can see on your screen if you're getting hit markers, you know exactly where they are. Just start spamming all the explosives that you got in that general area. If you're not getting hit markers, then you know that they are located at a different point in that hard point. Helps you to give some information, and you might just deal some damage and kill a lot of people. Next tip, in attrition mode, farm those AI dudes like crazy. You might think that pilots are the best things to kill or Titans are the best things to kill because they're the biggest and human players. But actually, you don't get too many points for killing Titans because they don't happen all that often. And of course, pilots are actual players. They're going to be harder to kill not only because they're probably more skillful and shoot back a lot better, but they have more health. Alright, shoot all the grunts and sentinels that you can, and if you farm those just enough, you'll actually win even if the opposing team gets more pilot and titan kills than your team. If you farm enough of those grunts and sentinels, you will win. Alright, it's a very handy tip. Next tip, when in Last Titan Standing game mode, you can check the scoreboard with tab on the PC, I'm guessing select on console, and you can see how many players are still alive. You can also see how many Titans are still up. So check the scoreboard, you'll see a skull icon for the pilots that are dead, and you'll see a Titan icon if they've jumped out of their Titan, or if their Titan is still alive and the pilot is dead, and then you'll see a little player silhouette if the player is still alive, but their Titan has been taken out. So you can see how many people are on your team, how many Titans are on your team, and how many people and Titans are on their team, and that'll really help to give you some information as to how aggressive or defensive you should be playing for that point in that round. Next tip, just because a Titan gets doomed, do not ignore it and treat it as a non-issue. Continue to shoot it and destroy it. Alright? People are going to hop out of them and things like that. They might not eject. That'll put it into the auto Titan mode. They can still be a threat and shoot back at you. Alright, so make sure you continue to shoot at doomed Titans. If there's a non-doomed Titan, then yeah, you might want to focus your attention onto the non-doomed one, but if he's the only one around, do not treat him as a non-issue or a non-threat. Continue to kill it as fast as you can. Next tip, use the nuke overload on your Titan, but don't ever do it with the auto-eject. The auto-eject is going to kick you out the second you go into doom state, and things might not be nearby you, and your nuke will go to waste. So put on the nuke, but get rid of auto-eject. If you know you're about to get doomed, or you're about to blow up, you're already in doom state, boost right up into your opponent's face, or boost right into the objective if it's something like hardpoint. That way you know, or can almost guarantee, that enemies are going to be in that location. And if you can get your opponent stuck, if they're in a Titan, get them stuck into a corner to where they can't get around you, then bail out, and you're going to get an almost guaranteed nuke kill. I hope you guys enjoyed these tips. I've got some smart pistol tips and some loadout videos that are going to be coming out soon, specific to Titans and specific to the infantry as a pilot. Hope you guys have enjoyed all of these things and the videos going on there in the background. Have a good one. Ta-ta.